beneficial to you, so please feel free to speak up. For my benefit, can you just identify who you are, what club you're representing? Not that I'll remember that, but. Yes.
Chuck Coe.
Yeah, Chuck, I'm the tennis club president. I'm here to see the different styles of leadership in versus like athletics versus like say academics.
Ashley, I'm the founder and president of Club Volleyball, and I want my team to get like better, like more off the ground because we only started last year. So.
Who else?
How many of you here because your coach told you to come?
And then it's totally fine.
Yeah, women, that's fine. You gotta be honest. Just because I'm here, you have to be honest.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah, it's like games. Okay. So what other reasons?
So now that you're here, what do you hope to get out of it? Because you do you need to tell me? She's here.
No, I just don't want to be nice.
No.
All right. Emily, and then.
Just make more positive comments towards teammates and stuff. Try to not bark at them. Be more positive.
Yeah.
Be a more positive leader.
John?
I would say just want to be a better leader overall.
Like how the people who are older than you.
That's challenging, right? Yep.
We have that all the time.
Thanks.
You can say that.
Isn't everyone?
I know I'm not in your department, so I can say that.
Just how to lead better on the field and like be time moments when coach is freaking out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
How to unify a large team.
A unified large team.
Track and field?
How to bring together teams that have issues in the past.
Team culture, maybe? A little bit of that. Any others? Yeah.
How to be a tough leader while still being liked as a leader.
Sure.
That's hard. That's a real hard.
Any others there? Yeah, sure.
How to distribute work amongst other officers. Let's still getting it done like efficiently, the way that you see is best.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah, real good start.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of what you guys said kind of goes along with what we were hoping you would get out of this. And another thing that we're really hoping that you guys will take from this is each other. Is having this group of people who are all going through a very similar experience. Susan kind of mentioned this right at the beginning, where it's like you guys all have this really unique experience that, let's be real, not every Brockport student's going to leave here with. It's something very special, and hopefully you guys will be able to rely on each other and say like, hey, I'm dealing with this on my team, or I'm dealing with this with my coach. Like, are anybody else dealing with this stuff? Let's talk through it so you can use each other as kind of a sounding board. But with that, there comes a couple of like, I guess, agreements that we have to all kind of adhere to in this room, right? Otherwise, we're going to end up with people leaving here and being like, oh, you know, did you hear that person from like the women's basketball team? Their coach sounds terrible. I don't even want to be on that team ever in my life. But what we want is for you guys to actually feel comfortable saying things in this room that'll help you be better leaders. So, what's that?
I'm comfortable saying that.
You're comfortable saying that? You will be. So what we want you to do right now is with the partner that you have, the person that you just met tonight, hopefully, we want you to talk to them and decide between the two of you, what do you need from the rest of the people in this room in order to feel comfortable, in order to get the most out of this experience? What do you guys need from each other? This is sort of your chance to tell us, like, okay guys, this is what we need from us, this is what we need from you guys, like, what do you guys need in order to feel comfortable and want to come here and talk about these things? So we'll give you like 3 minutes and then we'll share. So go for it. almost have this. Yeah. Oh, we've got a couple. So girl with the headband.
What's your name?
Yeah.
I'm Jen. I'm
Jen.
softball.
Okay.
I'd say more of like a conversation instead of like being lectured at, like just like flow back.
Yeah. That's a good point.
More.
We like that too.
Nice camera.
We're not putting you on the spot now, you're good.
I'm Alice, and a judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone.
This thing is crazy.
Over the back. What's your name?
Jonathan,
Jonathan?
yeah, I see for the air, he said food.
Food?
Food? We'll see what we can
I
do.
like that idea.
I don't know if you guys know if we have a state budget.
Who else?
Mike, I was gonna say that everybody just be honest, like nobody's perfect, so.
That's a good point, yeah. Honesty. Yeah.
Trust.
Trust.
Getting to know people better.
Yeah, getting to know one another. What else? I saw lots of discussion going on.
Anything else? This is sort of like what you guys agreed in this room. Like, what are you coming out from here? What do you guys like agree to with each other? Agree. Food. That's more of us, I think. Confidentiality?
Yeah.
Confidentiality?
How about what is said stays in this room? Which hopefully will be in the Eagles lookout from here on out because this room is awful.
Anything else?
Last days.
It says in this room. Don't judge me.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Alright. Cool. Still you.
Okay, so we're going to ask some questions, and hopefully this will open up to some of the discussion points. I don't want to stand up here and lecture, so the more you talk, the easier it is for us as well. Okay, so let's just go through the next few statements and see whether we agree or disagree with them. Oh, it's up there. A team captain is always the leader of the team. A team captain is always the leader of the team. Agree or disagree?
I say I agree, but also disagree, just because speaking as a captain like last year's team, I'm always down in some moments.
Right?
Other players pick me up,
Sure.
you know, because I don't feel like as a team captain, you're not always going to be 100% perfect.
Absolutely, right. And you're looking for your teammates to, respond as well and to be able to take the lead when, you can't, or maybe, like I said, you're not always 100%.
Maybe go off that, I would say disagree, just because I feel like as a team captain, there are times when you're like damned if you do, damned if you don't, as far as like decision making. So sometimes it's better to just like sit back and ask everybody what they would rather see or have done. The majority wins all, so you can't fight with the majority.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree because I think everyone's like a captain in their own way. Like I know I'm not a captain, but I have just as much responsibility as everybody else.
Sure. Absolutely.
Anybody agree? I don't know if you're going to say that. Chuck, you agree?
I would agree if it said there's always a leader.
Okay.
Is a leader?
So that's the.
Okay. And you can have multiple leaders in your team? Very good. I'll agree with that. Cool. All right, we'll go to the next one. Some people are just not born to be the team leader or team captain. Some people are just not born to be the team leader or a team captain. Little Johnny, I'm sorry, but you're just not going to be the captain. But you can play. We need players. What do you think? Agree or disagree?
I disagree. I think that you have to, like, anyone needs to work to it. Like, you can't just, you gotta try to want to be a captain, be a leader. You gotta put effort in and have time to it.
Sure. Okay, so why not, right? So it's like, why not? Why can't everyone be a team leader or a team captain? Yeah.
I agree.
You agree?
Because some people are just not born with that motivation to.
Some people just aren't going to be, we always need followers. Okay.
Some people just don't want to be like a team leader or team captain. It's just not it.
So what's the difference between wanting to and not wanting to, do you think? What separates that?
Responsibility.
Yeah.
Responsibility?
The ability to want.
Maturity,
They don't want to be
drive.
dependent.
Maturity? Drive? What was it? Sorry, what?
Not being like dependent on to make decisions.
Can't make decisions. Okay. All good points. Yeah, Mike, did you have something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the ability to lead, like, some people, I feel like some people just don't have it. Some
Yeah.
people are born to be sheep and some shepherds, you know what I
And you think in sports that plays it's more pivotal, it's more obvious in sports, you know, than in society or anywhere else, or is the sports a reflection on society?
It's everywhere.
Reflection, yeah.
I think it's more obvious in sports though, that
What's that?
because you have set like positions, you have like German captains or things like that, or positions like that where it's obvious who the leaders are.
Okay.
Most people work though, so there's a hierarchy at work.
Right? That's a good point. Everyone works. Well, most people work.
I think leaders also have to be followers as well. Just like, say Lou says something and I disagree, I'm not going to go against him, but as create problems on the team, I'm going to follow him.
That's a good point.
Go along with him and help him.
Sure. And we'll talk about putting the team's needs maybe before our own. Okay, that comes into play there, I think. Any other comments about that one? No. All right, well, that's one. Which of these skills is most important for a team leader to have? Communication, athletic ability, motivation, or empowerment? Which ones are the most important? Which one? Sorry, which one? Which of these skills are most important and why? Mike?
Say motivation, because if you're motivated, you can get better in the other three.
Okay.
I think communication, because I think everyone's opinion matters, and sometimes like captains get on like a power trip and they just don't listen to anyone
Don't listen to you.
else.
Isn't that the worst? People don't listen to you. Right, guys? I feel you, personally. Yeah.
I'd say communication, because even if, you know, you're motivated or you have certain leadership skills, you need to be able to communicate with that with your teammates and like, involve them through communication.
Yeah.
I say motivation because you don't always have to be a leader through lead by example.
That's a good point. Okay. Has anyone had a captain before that was kind of quiet? Didn't really talk too much, but led the way. That's one way of leading, right? If they lead, we'll follow. Okay. It's one way with one style of leadership.
What do you think about athletic ability? Like, do you feel like the team captain has to be like the person who's always out on the field or on the court or whatever and seeing some nose? Like,
I don't think that has any bearing on it. Like, you can have a team captain who doesn't get a minute of playing time, as long as they set a good example for the team, it shouldn't have a bearing on anything. But do they have that credibility with the team? I'm just asking. So if I'm, you know, the last person on the bench and I'm the captain, so my skill level isn't there, do I have the credibility with the team for them to follow? Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah,
Do you need something to throw or? Let's go, one at a time.
Yeah.
I would say it depends also how the person comes across it in that situation, because if you have someone that athletic ability wise isn't able to be out on the field, and you have some people that just makes you fall heads with them. I know, for instance, we had scenarios with that a couple years ago with us. But I think, like, you think about it, a lot of times, most of the time, the basketball teams, like, the walk-ons, like, the guys that practice the hardest on the team, like, if you're a good team and there's good unity, like, there's going to be mutual respect between everyone. I think that's where the leadership comes from, with those people. Yeah.
Get some more hands.
I think it's about work ethic. Like,
Work ethic?
Yeah, my high school captain, before I was captain, he wasn't the best guy on the team, but he worked the hardest. He did everything he had to do in school, and when you were down, he picked you up. So whether it's off the court or off, so I think it's really about it.
Any others? Is that more prevalent in when you're younger in youth sports? The best player is the team captain. Do you think? Yeah, I can see that a little more. And then as you get older, it's like, okay, it's not just about ability, it's about these things that we're talking about, communication, motivation, you know, inspiring, empowerment, those sorts of things come into play as well. Cool.
oh, Damien loves this question.
Which would you rather have? That's your question. A team full of all-stars or an all-star team? We can see in hands. I think you're first. Go ahead.
An all-star team, because last year, I'm on the baseball team, by the way. Last year, I was here 4 years, and I thought we had the most talent that we have ever had out of the 4 years I've been here, and we didn't even make Seniacs.
Didn't make it.
So, and we were a good team,
But on paper, you had to.
better than the years before. We were closer, maybe.
Yeah.
So.
That happens sometimes, right? Yeah.
I'm Justin, I'm on the baseball team too. I'd rather have an all-star team. And we have an assistant coach, Coach Me, who always says, we don't need to have the best players on the field, but we need to have the best team. And I mean, I think that's absolutely.
I like that.
I think the problem you're running with a team full of all-stars is everybody thinks they have to be that all-star, so they all play their own game. And I think it all just crumbles from within. You should just lose that stability and the all-star team, like everybody else can say. It's that cohesion, like everybody fighting for each other. Like you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the people you're doing.
Yeah. Great agreement.
If I didn't introduce myself earlier, Michelle, on men's basketball. Even if you just look at the words, like all-star is individual, but the team is together. So you need a team to win a game or win a championship or anything like that. So you want to run an all-star team.
Does anybody think differently? Does anyone think a team of all-stars would be pretty good?
Professional sport team in Miami Heat.
I think you need a good coach for a team full of all-stars.
Need to be able to manage them?
Took them a while to
Manage
get
I think it gets you to a certain point,
Yeah.
and then after that.
But it may not get you across the line, right? Cool. Well, it's good discussion. I like it. Good. A winning record is the result of a strong team leader. Agree or disagree? A winning record is the result of a strong team leader. That's why we lost it. Huh? A winning record is, yeah, really?
I would say disagree, not only about the leader, it has to do with the coach and the team and the people on the bench and the people
Everything,
working
right?
together as a team. It's not just about the player, it's about everyone as a whole.
Cool.
I disagree. I think that everyone working together is sort of offset and weird because you all, like, in order to get anywhere, you have to be together.
Anyone else? Yep.
I would say it's like true to a certain degree. I wouldn't say it's like perfectly correlated that like every successful leader has led to a winning season or that every bad leader has had a losing season. But I think that it's important to have like a positive leadership role. I think that would have a positive influence on your record as a team. Whether or not you can be motivated if you're the captain or the leader is setting that example for you or doing things that, as a whole, you guys don't necessarily think or approve of, and then everybody starts following that train. I could lead that would happen or losing your club.
Right.
I'm kind of like in the middle, because I think you need a couple of strong leaders, like somebody to lead the offense, someone to lead the defense, someone to score the goals, and someone to get the ground balls, you know what I mean? So,
So I think of like Michael Jordan and those championships with the Bulls. Like, was that they win those because of him and his leadership, or was it a team? Was that?
You can't say that. You can't say that they won it just because of him, because without Pippen, without Rodman, without all the other point guard, without the rest of the team, there wasn't.
There was no championship.
Yeah, because they were all on the same page, so they're not on the same page.
Different help. He played a bit of a role. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Do you have a Michael Jordan jersey on underneath your polo right now?
Silly guys. You everyone know him. Any other comments about that one?
I mean, I think it's tough when you compare professional sports to regular, because at that level, they're all the same skill for the most part. So that's where this leader can probably agree. You look at all the teams in professional sports that are really successful, they all have a face of the team that's really like, you look at the Yankees early 2000s, late 90s, you got Derek Jeter, you got those leaders there. But then you can go find, I don't even know, like the Miami Marlins, they don't have a leader right now, but they have all the skill. So at our level, it's probably not a big correlation, but at that level, the leader changes the whole thing.
Cool. All right.
You're good? So we talked a lot about leaders and leader, your thought process of a leader and the questions you have. But what is leadership? So what do effective sports leaders do? Sorry, what do effective sports leaders do? Motivate? Lead by example. Lead by example. I'm
It's a cool, calm, and collected.
Cool, calm.
Compromise?
Compromise.
You say work hard, hard work.
Hard worker. Mm-hmm. There's that old adage, there's no I in team. So Damien alluded to it earlier, putting the team first instead of them. Negotiator? So the leader have to be a negotiator? I'm just thinking, you know, two of your teammates come to you and they've got a situation that they bring to your attention, and now you've got your obligation to tell your coach or tell the next person or not, and so you have to try and make some negotiations. Yeah.
Voice of the team.
Voice of the team to the coach.
Say like mediate between both of your teammates, like if you're a coach, choose your team out, and people get everybody together and like chill.
So the mediator.
Be there to like support your teammates in like other aspects of their life, like school or personal.
So you're a leader, when you're a leader, probably the easiest part of being a leader is when you're on the field in the middle of the game. Probably the hardest part is dealing with the day-to-day things of your team mates. Yeah. Okay. So, using these skills, what impact does a leader have on the team? When you use these skills, you've got these skills, what impact will have a leader on the team?
Certain things that a leader would say or a team captain would say, instead of bouncing off the surface, like it'll penetrate and really get to you. You like actually understand what they mean and like really take it into your heart.
I'm trying to think of how to summarize
To
it.
internalize it.
Internalize.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? With those skills, how is a leader going to impact the team? Gloria.
I'm Heather, I run cross country, and it should inspire you to be a better person.
Inspired to be a better person.
Going along with that, just bringing out the best in everybody else.
Represent your team, your program, your best life. Because ideally, you want that leader to be the best role model. Role model. Anyone else? All right, we've got a lot there. So again, we're going to be utilizing a lot of what we're writing on this board. What's the matter? Need more space?
Yeah, because Nicole's got risks, so.
I'm right on the back phone, that's it.
All right. So, again, we've identified a lot of adjectives for leaders. And so, we're going to eventually come up with a definition. What is your definition of leader? And it may be in particular to what your team needs at this particular moment. Because the role of a leader changes throughout your season. So, Nicole, you're up. There you go.
So here's some traits of great leaders, okay? What do they do for the team? First of all, they allow you to feel confident and capable about your own self, about your own skills and abilities. And some of you mentioned that before. They have trust in you, and they play aggressively. Not necessarily aggressive as in physical aggressiveness, but aggressive to be able to lead from the front, make you feel confident about yourself. They're not afraid to make mistakes. There's an air of confidence about them, right? And willing to take intelligent risks. A lot of this stuff can be related back to life as well. Okay, if you think of your own personal skills, or if you take some of the skills you've developed in sports and apply them to your own personal lives, these are all applicable as well, right? Risk-taking, confidence. See where we're going here a little bit as well? Great leaders strive to make those around you better. It's not about me, it's about you. It's about us, okay? They know it's not about them, the individual, it's more so about the team. Inspire teammates to make them consistently play to their potential. So it's, someone mentioned getting to know each other, right? If you don't know who your teammates are, how are you going to be able to motivate them? I helped coach a rugby league team, and a men's rugby league team. The other week we were in Canada playing a game. And there's this guy, and he's about 6 foot, he's a Samoan guy, okay? And he's massive, right? And I go out on the field, I'm giving him water, and I'm encouraging him, I'm like, come on, let's go, you're gonna get up, you're gonna keep going. And after the game, he said to me, he goes, I really like the way you talk to me. I'm like, what? Like, this guy's massive. I'm like, you kidding me, right? He goes, the other trainer just yells at me. He goes, he just yells, he yells and yells. He goes, I hate him. He goes, I hate him. And the other trainer was a former professional player that's played all over the world. And here I am just going, look, get up, let's go. You know, here's some water, get up, get up. I'll be beside you, but get up. You know, keep going, I need you to keep going, right? So, getting to know that people react differently. This guy doesn't like to be yelled at. He's very soft-spoken, okay? He likes to be spoken to, and he likes to be respected. Now that I know that, am I going to go out there and yell at him and say, come on, no, I want him to keep going. Here, have some water. Let's go, come on, let's go. We need to keep going, okay? If you know your teammates, you're going to be able to motivate them to do what's best for the team, okay? And I remember like just taking that and thinking, wow, you know, I know this guy now. I know what I need to do to get to that next level. All right, so we're going to use that. As captains, as leaders, think about that. Not everyone responds the same way. I myself, I hated getting yelled at. I was very quiet. Whereas other people are boisterous, they love being, you know, out there. I don't like that. All right, so set their teammates up for success. Okay, they put their teammates first. You know, if you've got someone that you know is a star, put them out there. You know, let's have them succeed. It's going to be good for the team. The team's going to feed off that. All right, everyone's going to try and step up to that next level. They're happy for others. They celebrate their successes as your own. Okay, so they're part of you as well. All right, they succeed, everyone succeeds. They see that big picture. Okay, does anyone have any feedback like that? Any similar stories about teammates, you know, trying to get the best out in them? No? Everyone knows their team pretty well? All right, cool. A couple of quotes. Leadership is simply the ability to bring out the best in your teammates. Right? Just said that already. To be a great leader is to make everyone better. That's the greatest gift of all. To elevate the people around you, to get them to maximize their potential, to get them to reach their dreams. Ultimately, leaders are judged by the success of the people they lead. All right, once again, it's about putting the team's needs ahead of your own. So what are some of the risks associated with being a leader? Yeah?
When everything goes wrong.
Everything goes wrong, right?
Everything falls back on you.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can ride the wave of success, but when things go bad, you got to take that too, yeah?
You're always being watched.
You're always being watched. You're under the spotlight, right? Under the spotlight. That's a good one. What else? Because there's a bit of risk involved if you're willing to step up to the plate and be a leader. Yep, Chuck?
You're in over your head, too much work.
Too much work? You're in over your head? Failure. Fear of failure or just... Yeah, fear of failure.
That fine line of being someone's friend gets on too.
So maybe trying to break away from being the friend and being the leader, you know, playing those multiple roles, especially as college kids, right? College students. Okay, you're living with each other, you're socializing. AJ?
Similar to failure, like taking responsibility for the actions of those you lead.
Oh, so you've got to now take responsibility for what other people are doing. That can be difficult too, right? Being accountable for others. Anything else? Yeah.
It can be trying your patience.
Trying your
Patience?
patience? Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to be put in some difficult situations.
Both, are you talking difficult situations on the field or off the field, or off the field, so both? Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Have the power get to your head.
Now into your head.
You're going to be questioned a lot if you make the right decision or the wrong decision.
That's a good point too. Question a lot. People are going to criticize, right? No matter whether it's right or wrong, somebody's always got an opinion. Yeah? Consistency. We spoke before, sometimes you just have one of those days where, you know what, I'm the captain, I realize that, but I need you guys to step up, man. I'm just not feeling it today. You know? That's a good point. Any others? Yep.
A lot of pressure to perform well.
Pressure to perform well. Added pressure to perform well, right? So you're not only thinking about your own performance, now you've got the team as well.
And along that, when you don't perform well, being composed. So you keep yourself composed through that.
Yeah, yeah. So when you're not performing well, having the composure to be able to sort of to keep going along and get back to where you need to be. These are all risks, right? These are all tough things that we have to do. Yeah. Keep them together. Yep. No, these are great.
Yeah, it's easy to leave when you're winning, right?
It's easy
Really
to-
hard to leave when you're not winning.
Yes. Cool.
This is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Just like looking at how great these risks are, there's so many of them, it kind of almost makes you think like, why would somebody want to step up and be a leader on their team when there's all of these different things at risk? We're going to pass out a book by Jeff Jansen, which I think those of you that are student athletes may have heard about this before. I think these books were about a little bit a while ago. It's actually a program that's used like around the country at a lot of D1 schools for their leadership programs, like UNC has this huge program. And so from the book, these are just the ones that we pulled out, but constantly being watched, recognizing that trust and respect from your team is really fragile, and so it's sort of that like, you're kind of always worrying that if you do something, it might actually make your team kind of lose that respect for you, and it's really hard to get back. You might not always be liked, balancing friendships. Some teammates might get jealous of you, and you might have to deal with some egos, not just like worrying about yourself getting to kind of have a big ego, but other people as well. Dealing with conflict on the team, you're going to be the one to take all the blame. And sometimes you will be stuck between a rock and a hard place. You're going to have your coach sitting there telling you one thing, your teammates telling you another, and you're going to have to kind of mediate between those. There might be times where you're disappointed, and we put that in there twice, the deal with conflict one. So.
Yeah, conflict force.
Oh yeah, it's just really bad. Conflict is really bad. But looking at this list that we came up with here, that I apologize if you can't read some of it, or this list up here, talk to the person next to you, your partner. Which one of these kind of worries you the most? Like which one of these is sort of, okay, I'm worried about balancing my friendships with being a leader on the team. I'm worried about always being watched. Which one of these kind of stands out to you the most as something that you're kind of like going into this year a little bit worried about? So we'll give you a few minutes to talk and we'll
anytime that anything goes wrong with anyone that claims they played rugby one day a week last spring on a Tuesday, they claim they played rugby, somebody says it was a rugby kid, then that falls back on the leader of the rugby team shoulders. And then obviously you have to have that conversation with you yourself, and you both know what goes on at the best times.
Yeah, so, leave it at that.
Say the same thing as we were talking about earlier. It's just that you don't have to worry about everybody else coming at you as a leader, talking about how they get in trouble. You told us not to do that and stuff like that.
When something goes wrong, like, you know, ages put up an example, but when I get an email or a phone call about something that's happened, the first person I call is the club leader, right? Most of the clubs don't have a coach, so I tend to leave the coaches out of it too because they're volunteers and stuff. If I call the leader, I'm like, guess what? We've got an issue. This is your issue as well as everybody else's. Okay, so I'm not just going to hold the person accountable, the one that's involved, but I'm also going to hold the team accountable. And we need to be on the same page and make sure that that message is getting back to the team. Because at the end of the day, when you're on the field or you're on the court or you're on, you know, wherever, you know, if someone does something wrong, the whole team gets penalized for it. So it's going to be no different. You know? And that way you're holding each other accountable as well. All right, it's back on you rather than coming from me. You need to take care of this. This is your team. There's some other hands. Jim?
I think balancing friendships is really difficult because a lot of us come in there with friends with people on our teams and maybe even live with them. You know, I live with 3 people on the team. And it's hard sometimes, especially when you're playing or in like a game situation, you have to make a decision and they disagree, they expect you to agree with them because they're your friend. And, or if you make a decision like a budgetary decision or something and they don't agree with it, anything like that, you really have to balance that delicately, and that can be very difficult.
Sure. Yeah.
We all agree that it was like the pressure to perform.
Pressure to perform.
If you have to be that person when you're down a goal and there's 30 seconds left to get that goal, or if you're that person that's dropping the pass, your coach is going to get so much.
So it's interesting you say that because then we talked earlier, we said physical ability wasn't really a priority, but then pressure to perform is. You know, so it's like, where do we, and you're right, you know, it's pressure, they look for the leader. And we always associate the leader with a captain or, you know, for the most part, right? Yeah.
With us on the team, we always say, like, if I'm giving 100%, you better be giving your 100% back. So, like, the chemical and stuff, I mean, like, if you're only doing, you know, 50%, you decide to go, you know, fool around or whatever, then you're letting down your team.
Yeah. Yep. Any other comments?
I think it's kind of like, it goes along with pressures, but it's not really up there, is that, there's a lot of times that a lot of people might be afraid to become like a leader or that the risk of being a leader is because
It's a good team.
is people might be afraid of becoming like that people view them as a ground loser. Right? I know even I can say it myself, it's like I'm afraid sometimes to like tell someone or just even go over there and like set an example of going to clean up like the baseballs and the nature, something like that, because a lot of times some people on the team might think, oh, he's just trying to suck up the coach.
Right.
You're just trying to, if you know you've been there, you're trying to set an
done,
example.
right? Any other comments?
And not tonight, because we're running out of time, but I'd like to continue on your question, on your statement in regards to friendship and living together and questioning calls or questioning situations in a game like. Is it different from males versus females? A lot of the coaches, we always have this conversation, you know, and, you know, is it easier or harder to coach male or females? And so the next time I'd like to see that. And is it different? Is it different? You know, and
I was going to say, and I took coaching sport with Coach Feeney, and he obviously has had the male perspective, and then he coached the female gymnastics team. And he would say the difference is boys will argue. If they throw a punch, they throw a punch, but then that night they're drinking a beer or a soda together and they're perfectly fine. Girls are going to go, instead of talking to each other, so no friends, sorry girls, you guys are going to go to other friends.
Let's be
They're going to bitch about each other. And then it's going to come back and she's going to tell her. that
No,
she's
doesn't
saying
take
this.
offense, it's okay.
yeah, we're almost.
That's a good point, though.
So,
Yeah. Sorry. There you go.
We hope you enjoyed it. We're really excited about this program, okay, for a number of reasons. Obviously, we're excited to share our knowledge, skills with you. I think we've got some pretty good presenters here. We're excited about the presenters that we've got lined up for the future. It's not us.
Yeah.
We're bringing in some guest speakers, okay? The next one on October 16th is going to be Chris Shanley from the University of Rochester. She's the athletic director, former Rockport student as well, so she's a Rockport alum. She's going to be talking about some great topics, and she's got some great experience to share with you as well. So we're really excited about that. Before you leave today, we have a syllabus, which just reminds you of the dates of the workshops, and we also got a workbook for you to take as well.
Yeah, so this book, it's really nice. It's got places that you can like respond to things. It really is meant to be a workbook. One of the things that we do want you to do though is before the session on October 16th, we're hoping that you'll spend a little bit of time and do there's a leadership self-assessment. It's not a big thing, like you'll see, it's one page, it's just sit down and think about some of the statements that it says here and how much you agree or disagree with how much you do them. This is just going to help us to see, okay, are there things we want to cover in this? But hopefully it'll also help you learn more about yourself throughout the year. So that is page 22, so it's just the end of the first chapter. But it's a really good resource. If you didn't sign it, like if you have to get your name down, I'll have the sheet out and you can just write your name and everything. And we'll see you.
Otherwise, we'll see you on
Thank you, everybody!
No.